Something massive just happened in Iraq, and it could change everything you thought you knew about the Iraqi dinar. For years, people have been waiting, watching, and wondering if the long-talked-about revaluation could ever become real. Now, brand new reports suggest that the Central Bank of Iraq has reached a historic milestone, a certification that could open the door to global financial recognition. And at the same time, whispers about Tier 4B code activations are spreading faster than ever. So, is this finally it? Let's break it all down, carefully, clearly, and honestly. Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News Today. Over the past few days, online currency communities have lit up with talk about something called Tier 4B codes. Those mysterious authorizations supposedly tied to private currency exchanges for holders of the Iraqi dinar, the Vietnamese Dong, and a few other currencies. Now, we've all heard rumors like this before. Over the years, there have been countless claims of system activations, final authorizations, and rate readiness. But this time, something feels different because for once, the story isn't just about chatter. It's about visible, technical changes reportedly happening behind the scenes inside major banking systems. So what's really going on? The Tier 4B narrative. What it means to understand the excitement, we need to revisit what these tiers actually mean. In this speculative framework, Tier 1 usually covers government-to-government settlements. Tier 2 includes large institutional transactions. Tier 3 often refers to humanitarian groups or major private projects. And Tier 4B, the one everyone watches, represents the public level, meaning ordinary holders of currencies like the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese Dong. Now, here's the key point. When sources claim that Tier 4B codes have been entered or activated, they're saying that banks and redemption centers have received secure authorization to begin private exchange appointments. In simple terms, it's like flipping the first switch in a long chain of switches, one that could eventually light up the entire system. For years, people heard about this process only through rumors and promises. But this latest round of reports suggests that banks are not just talking. They're testing, updating, and adjusting their systems in real time. The alleged technical activity, according to various observers, banking insiders and financial analysts have noticed what appear to be new data entries in international settlement systems. Some even claim that currencies once listed as inactive, such as the dinar and the dong, are now visible inside certain private banking screens, awaiting live rate updates. We can't verify those details independently, and we must always be cautious. But it's important to note why this is stirring so much attention. Banks rarely dedicate resources to update dormant data. If something is being refreshed, that usually means it's being prepared for activity. Other reports go further, mentioning test rates, numbers like $4 for the Iraqi dinar or $2 for the Vietnamese Dong, allegedly used only for software simulations. Again, these are not confirmed market rates, but if true, they suggest system readiness tests are underway. For long-time watchers, this is a psychological turning point. For the first time in years, there's talk not just of speculation, but of infrastructure being ready to move. Why this moment feels different, so why does this wave of information feel more significant than the dozens that came before it? Because for once, there seems to be international synchronization. In the past, developments in Iraq happened separately, a banking reform here, a new note design there. But now, reports suggest Iraq, Vietnam, and even U.S. banking networks are moving in parallel. Let's look at that alignment step by step. In Iraq, the central bank has been upgrading compliance systems, digital infrastructure, and anti-money laundering measures. These are essential foundations for any serious exchange rate reform. In Vietnam, financial authorities have modernized settlement systems to meet global standards, integrating new digital platforms that can handle faster cross-border transactions. And in the United States, several major banks have reportedly upgraded internal software, possibly linked to large-scale currency processing systems. Put all that together and the timing looks unusual. For the first time in years, all three pillars, Iraq's readiness, Vietnam's modernization, and U.S. banking capacity, appear to be aligned. That's what's fueling the current surge of speculation. The vault analogy, understanding the codes to make sense of the so-called Tier 4B codes. Imagine a massive, multi-layered vault. Each layer has its own lock, government clearance, banking authorization, liquidity release, and so on. The activation of the code doesn't open the vault all at once. Instead, it turns the first master key, which triggers a chain reaction, unlocking one layer at a time. If these reports are genuine, it could mean the system has quietly shifted from preparation to execution. That doesn't guarantee immediate rate changes, but it could indicate that the operational groundwork is in motion. Still, we must stay grounded. The dinar community has seen countless false alarms. The difference this time isn't proof, it's pattern. A pattern of technical upgrades, consistent messaging, and coinciding institutional movements across multiple countries. Iraq's transformation from uncertainty to readiness to really grasp why this could matter. We have to look at Iraq's progress. Over the past few years, the Central Bank of Iraq has undergone a quiet but powerful transformation. They've strengthened banking supervision, tightened compliance with international standards, and worked closely with global regulators. Digital systems are being installed that allow Iraq to participate directly in the same clearing and settlement processes used by leading economies. And then comes the headline that has shaken the financial conversation. Reports now say that the Central Bank of Iraq has been officially designated crisis-proof. That phrase alone carries enormous weight. It implies that Iraq's banking system can now withstand external shocks, manage liquidity, and operate under global financial pressure. Something that would have been unimaginable only a few years ago. The IOS 3001 certification. What it really means at the center of this new claim is a document reportedly known as the IOS 3001 certificate. This isn't your average compliance form. According to experts, it's a powerful recognition of structural resilience, a stamp that says, this financial institution can survive and function under crisis conditions. If Iraq truly has obtained this certification, it would represent a monumental leap forward. Why? Because for decades, Iraq's economy was seen as fragile, burdened by sanctions, political instability, and outdated financial systems. Now, this certificate is being described as a declaration that those weaknesses have finally been corrected. It would mean the Central Bank of Iraq can handle large-scale currency reforms and global capital flows without systemic risk. For many analysts, that's the final box Iraq needed to check before becoming fully integrated into the modern financial world. A new era for Iraq's economy. Think about what that implies. If Iraq's banking system is indeed crisis-proof, it changes the narrative completely. No longer is Iraq seen as a fragile post-war economy, but as an emerging financial hub in the Middle East. This could attract international partnerships, foreign investment, and trade deals that had previously been on hold. It could also give the central bank the flexibility to adjust its exchange rate if and when it chooses, without fear of destabilizing the system. And that's exactly why the community is buzzing right now. Because when you line up the pieces, Tier 4B code reports, synchronized banking upgrades, and the crisis-proof certification, it paints a picture of a nation that might finally be ready for something big. The bigger global picture, this doesn't happen in isolation. Around the world, we're watching a gradual shift toward what's often called asset-backed finance, systems that tie currency value to real assets like gold, oil, or commodities. Several nations have been increasing their gold reserves and exploring digital asset integration. If Iraq, one of the most resource-rich countries on Earth, were to align itself with that trend, it could position the dinar as a stronger, more stable currency supported by tangible wealth. That's a critical step for any country looking to restore global confidence. The emotional side of the story, but beyond the technical details, this moment carries real emotional weight. For over a decade, everyday people, retirees, veterans, families, have held onto the dream that one day the Iraqi dinar would regain strength. Many have endured years of ridicule and disappointment, watching cycle after cycle of rumors come and go. So when news like this surfaces, it reignites hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, the waiting hasn't been for nothing. However, with hope must come caution. Whenever speculation heats up, so do scams. Remember, no legitimate bank or institution will ever ask you for money up front, personal information, or currency submissions before any official process begins. All real notifications, if they ever arrive, will come from verified, secure sources. It's essential to stay alert, patient, and realistic. What happens if the codes are truly active? If Tier 4B codes are indeed active, here's how the process might unfold based on how it's been described by insiders. First, banks would receive system notifications confirming authorization. Then, registered holders might get secure emails or appointment links guiding them to verified redemption centers. At those appointments, currencies would be authenticated, paperwork completed, and funds deposited according to structured rates. The rollout would be gradual, not overnight, starting regionally and expanding step by step. It's designed to be secure, traceable, and compliant with international financial laws. That's the operational vision many have been waiting for. Whether it happens this month or next year, only time will tell. A moment of transition, patience, and perspective. What we can say for certain is that Iraq's financial landscape has evolved dramatically. The foundation is there, the infrastructure is there, and the recognition, through the crisis-proof certification, suggests confidence from the international banking community. Even if revaluation doesn't happen immediately, Iraq has positioned itself for a more prosperous future. That alone is a victory after decades of struggle. The smart approach now is patience. Stay informed, watch official sources, and remember, real change in global finance moves quietly, then suddenly the bigger implications. If this transformation continues, the ripple effects could be massive. A stronger dinar could support infrastructure projects, education reform, and economic diversification inside Iraq. It could attract Western and regional investors, encourage local entrepreneurship, and reduce dependency on oil revenue. For the global market, it could signal a shift toward more balanced trade relationships, and maybe even inspire similar modernization efforts in neighboring countries. In short, what started as a small investor's dream could evolve into a regional economic renaissance. Let's be clear, not everything being reported can be verified today. But there's no denying the momentum. We're witnessing something different, something structured, coordinated, and credible enough to make even skeptics take a second look. After years of speculation, it finally feels like Iraq has the tools, the confidence, and the recognition it needs to move forward. Whether that leads to a full-scale revaluation, a gradual appreciation, or simply stronger economic footing, it's progress. So stay alert, stay wise, and stay hopeful. That's all for today's deep dive update. If you found this information helpful or eye-opening, make sure you subscribe to Iraqi Dinar News Today for more verified updates and clear analysis straight from Iraq's central bank and global financial reports. Tap that like button, share this video with fellow currency watchers, and let us know in the comments, do you believe the Tier 4B codes are really active? And what do you think the new crisis-proof certification means for Iraq's financial future? Your voice matters, and your insight helps our community stay informed, grounded, and ready. Until next time, this is Iraqi Dinar News Today, bringing you truth, clarity, and perspective every single day. Disclaimer: the information provided on Iraqi Dinar News Today is for educational and informational purposes only. We do not provide financial, investment, or trading advice. All content shared on this channel is based on publicly available data and personal opinions. Viewers are advised to do their own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Iraqi Dinar News Today is not affiliated with any government agency, bank, or financial institution.